Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a project that's trying to do something really ambitious. Teach robots not just to follow orders, but to actually think. It's all about bridging that gap between just writing code and creating real understanding.
So let's start with the big question, right? We're fantastic at giving machines a list of commands, but how do we get them to understand the why behind those commands? That right there is the huge leap from basic programming to something that feels like real intelligence.
Okay, before we get to the really cool solution, we have to wrap our heads around the problem. And trust me, it's a big one. There's this massive canyon between the clean, perfect world of code on a computer and the messy, chaotic, unpredictable world a real robot has to live and work in.
And this brings us to a key concept called embodied intelligence. See, this isn't about some AI that just exists in the cloud. We're talking about an AI that has a physical body, one that can move, touch things, and actually learn from interacting with its environment. You know, kind of like we do.
Here's the core of the challenge. Most of the time, learning about robotics happens entirely on a screen. You learn the theory, you write the code, but there's a huge disconnect when you try to make that code actually control a physical thing. Honestly, it's like the difference between reading a book about how to swim and then actually getting thrown into the deep end of the pool.
So what's the answer? How do we fix this? Well, a recent hackathon cooked up a really fascinating solution. An interactive AI learning platform designed specifically to build a bridge over that gap between theory and the real world.
And this isn't just a digital textbook. Think of it more like a complete learning ecosystem. You've got the course content, sure, but it's paired with an intelligent RAG chatbot. That's Retrieval Augmented Generation, which is a fancy way of saying it can pull answers and context directly from the course materials. It's all wrapped up in a secure, personal space with one huge overarching goal: to get you to think critically.
And you know, that security part might sound a little dry, but it is so important. By giving every single user their own private login, it creates this safe space where you can try things, you can fail, you can experiment, all without feeling judged. And that's absolutely essential when you're learning something this complicated.
All right, now this is where the platform gets really interesting. I want you to forget everything you know about chatbots that just spit out a block of code when you get stuck. This system has something totally different called the Socratic AI Tutor.
So here's the fundamental difference in how it thinks. A normal AI chatbot is all about speed. You ask a question, it gives you an answer, done. But the Socratic Tutor, it's optimized for understanding. Instead of just handing you the solution, it asks you these guiding questions to help you get to the answer on your own.
The person who created the project put it perfectly. The whole point isn't to be a quick cheat sheet. The point is to use the AI to literally deepen your understanding and build up your own problem-solving muscles. It's a total shift in what the AI is there for.
So, you're probably wondering, what kind of tech does it take to build something this smart? Let's pop the hood and take a quick look at the engine that makes this whole thing run.
As you can see, it's built on a pretty powerful modern stack. For the AI brains, it's using models like Claude and Gemini. That CLI you see there just means command line interface, which is a way for developers to talk directly to the model. The whole chatbot system is powered by a framework called FastAPI, which makes it super responsive. And for that secure login we were talking about, that's handled by a tool called BetterOff. Every single piece was chosen to help with that core mission of interactive, deep learning.
And the way they actually built it is pretty cool too. The whole thing was done using a spec-driven approach. What that means is, before anyone wrote a single line of code, they created a super detailed blueprint of exactly what the platform needed to do. It's a really structured way to build things, and it makes sure the final product works just the way it was imagined. Okay, so let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the bigger picture? Because this is way more than just a cool hackathon project. It's really a prototype for a whole new way of thinking about education in the age of AI.
When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one central idea. We're entering a world where AI can give you any answer, almost instantly. And when answers are cheap, they become less valuable. The skill that becomes absolutely priceless is critical thinking, knowing how to ask the right questions in the first place.
This completely flips the role of AI in our learning. It stops being this all-knowing oracle that you just go to for answers. Instead, it becomes a thinking partner. It's a tool that doesn't just do the work for you, but actually helps you get better at doing the work yourself.
And that leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to end on. We spend so much of our time and energy trying to make artificial intelligence smarter. But what if we've been looking at it backwards?
What if the true purpose of AI wasn't just to be smart, but to make us smarter? Now that's something to think about.